greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone.
Hello and welcome back to another beautiful day, another beautiful Ripple video. That's right, I know you're excited to hear more about Ripple from me, so we're going to do a video. This is a video that we were going to make as soon as we found out about ICO launches on Ripple. We also haven't even talked about Apple introducing the API for Ripple Pay and what that means. You're like, well, you're really late on this news, so why are you talking about it?
Okay.
Well, we'll find out. Let's talk about why we didn't talk about it until now. Let's talk about why Ripple's going to be above $250, easily above $250, and all that other exciting stuff. I even made some drawings, so we have some cool drawings to look at because I know you guys love that.
You wanna boogie, get out on the dance floor.
Let's do it. Ripple, $250. How's it going to happen? Here we go. Roll that intro.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice.
So as you know, one of the things I think we need to touch on first is Apple introducing Ripple Pay, or Apple supporting Ripple was the huge headline. People were blowing up. I saw people talking about it. Oh, this is how it's going to happen. Oh, this is huge. And right as I was about to report on it, it's not even really a thing yet. It's kind of a rumor. It's a rumor, guys. It's a rumor. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the Apple and Ripple mobile link with their API, and let's look at how it's actually going to go up. Is it going to be with Apple Ripple Pay?
There are other things that need to be taken into account here.
Apple introducing the Interledger API for Apple Pay is huge. This is a huge thing.
Because I win.
It's been years since Apple introduced Apple Pay to make payments easy on the internet and with POS devices. However, the lack of support for various payment methods creates a number of difficulties to get merchants on board. The Interledger with Ripple will help the multi-browser support, and it'll help Apple expand its payment services using the standard API. So everyone thought this was huge. But if you actually look into it further, if you really look at it, Apple and Ripple may have a potential idea to remove friction from mobile payments, but the implementation could be a rough ride, says this Apple and Ripple mobile shortcut is anything but.
This is bullshit! Alright, take it easy, man.
It goes on to say, basically, the Ripple news stems mostly from a GitHub draft edited by a Ripple exec that discusses the Interledger protocol and the payment request API, which makes it easy for different payment systems to communicate with each other.
It's a huge deal.
Ripple did not provide a comment calling the news a rumor, and Apple referred questions to an announcement of Apple's Pay Request API on its site. So basically what happened is neither one is confirming it. Apple's saying, yeah, we did update our API. Ripple's literally saying it's a rumor.
I know what you're thinking, punk. But ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky?
This is bullshit!
Now, this might seem like a quick and easy win for everyone involved, but in implementing any kind of connection, Ripple and Apple would both face compliance issues known as KYC, Know Your Customer. The collaboration would require a bank as a partner. So, what does all this mean? How is Ripple going to go up? I made a Ripple video yesterday that said Ripple's going to go to $10. Was it yesterday? Was it 2 days ago? I don't even know. I made a Ripple video that said Ripple's proof, guaranteed it's going to go to $10. That was the minimum that Takao had set on his price prediction. In reality, I think there's something that no one's addressed yet. And we're going to just dive into the drawing board. Let's start and break it down for you guys, how this is going to work out, how it's going to turn out to where... How is it going to turn out that trillions of dollars are headed into Ripple? So I decided to draw it all out for you guys. I know you guys love my drawings. So basically what we have so far is this. This is where we're at, all right? This is the blockchain for Ripple. I decided to put Ripple Labs up here, actually, and I put these two third parties right here. So we have the third parties, basically. These are any people using the blockchain that Ripple's basically given them, right? Ripple's basically given the permissions or the ability for them to use and integrate the blockchain, the interledger protocol. They've kind of helped facilitate this. So they helped set up, you know, these are all the partners. We got banks. I was going to put more things, but really, I don't really know. It's just banks and like businesses and like payment corridors and like Western Union apps. And there's like another app that just went live, and there's the Apple Pay possibility. So all these partners, right? Lists of all these partners possible that are they're basically just going to use the blockchain as Ripple has prepared it, right? So here's where things get a little bit crazy. And this is how we're going to have trillions of dollars in it. This is potentially what I think people are missing. We have all the partners here using the blockchain just how Ripple designed it, right? They're using it just as XRP, right? But if we look closely at the blockchain, if we really look closely at it, it's actually, if you look at the specs of it, it's one of the best blockchains. It gets A+ rating. Everybody really likes it. And what does that mean? What does that mean if you look at the specs of this blockchain and it has a really just great transaction time, really low cost per coin, there's no miners. What does this mean? As people start to think like, maybe I do want a coin that's not mined, and they start to think like, well, what if we do launch a coin on this blockchain? What do you have? You have this guy. This guy shows up. Who is this guy? He's an engineer looking to develop coins on blockchains. What's he looking for? Well, he's looking for something that's going to be efficient, and it's going to be an authority in the space, and it's going to be well received. People are already using it. It works well. It's been developed for years. And so here we can see what potentially might start happening. This is what I think people have not even started to talk about happening with Ripple in general is, and before I even write it out, before it shows up here, what basically is happening, if you think about it, is people like Facebook and Google, they're definitely making a coin right now. There's no way they're not making a coin. They probably thought about, well, we could launch an ERC-20 token, right? But they're probably not going to do that. That seems silly. It's on Ethereum's blockchain. They're probably not going to go that route. Now they're probably thinking about developing their own blockchain, their own standalone blockchain. But Ripple Labs has been developing this blockchain for over 4 years, easily over 4 years developing this technology. And they've done a pretty good job. So what happens if people like Google or Facebook or Amazon, etc., other companies like them, big companies. What happens if big companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon decide like we're going to launch ICOs, we're going to launch our own coins, but we're not going to even build our own blockchain. We're just going to launch them on this one. And which one are they going to pick? I don't know. That's a good question. It's a pretty big assumption for me to assume they're going to pick Ripple. But Ripple is pretty well respected for the business community so far. They're integrated with the banks, and as far as anyone can tell, building a blockchain on their own could be pretty rough, especially because the future of what we're looking at really is the integration of all these chains together. Like, who's going to be able to make this integration work? And Ripple's already done a good job of being a bridge currency. It's already made that leap on its own. So interestingly enough, the first time that I saw someone make an announcement about ICOs possibly showing up on Ripple, my mind exploded, because I realized like Google and Facebook might not want to develop their own technology to make Ripple. I mean, they might not want to develop their own technology to make a coin. They might want to piggyback on a working blockchain.
I had the same dream.
What if they launch ICOs on Ripple? What if they launch ICOs on the Ripple ledger, the XRP ledger? Now, this alone doesn't make me guarantee trillions of dollars headed into Ripple, but it did give me ideas, right? It did give me ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, this blockchain could obviously be used for a lot of things. And what I started to think about, even if these aren't checked off, like even if these don't hit this check mark, there's someone basically that has $500 trillion waiting to go into a market that I think is going to happen. And here's where we're going to basically make a big gap, draw a huge gap across two different worlds. And this is what I think is going to happen here. Is if we take, first off, let's look at this. I'm not even going to do a feature on this coin right now, but this coin is a cool idea, and what we're basically going to use is this coin as the foundation for what we're saying might happen on the Ripple ledger. And in reality, we're going to go back and do a breakdown specifically of this coin, but also we're going to use this as an example because look, what is this? This coin Populous is basically a peer-to-peer finance platform that's globalized, a current limited market, and they are using blockchain distributed ledger technology. So the funding instantly unlocks cash. We don't need to know about how this works right now. We're not doing a how it works right now video. Now, at first glance, you might think like, what is this? Why do I care about this? Well, what is happening right here in this is basically a simple contract negotiation, right? They're selling invoices, and you can look at how it works. Basically, someone buys an invoice to give someone cash right away that's waiting for a payment to be made, and then they get paid the full amount whenever that payment comes through, and it's on the blockchain.
Okay.
Now, just take a moment to look at this, all right? This is basically the concept of contracts being resolved on the blockchain inside of a business sector of a financial platform that we have not yet seen ported over to blockchain. Just hold on with me, follow me here.
Trust me.
To the next thing, all the world's money. All right, so I know you guys probably need to take a break. I'm gonna put an ad right here, and then let's look at what's happening with the world's money supply. Okay, so people are like, well, where's trillions of dollars? I've made some crazy high prices, and $10 video we made yesterday was the minimum that Tikao said, and we're gonna shoot a little higher. I'm gonna go ahead and say $250, maybe higher, possibly before the end of 2019. And where is that money coming from? Where is that money coming from, you might ask yourself. And this is what we're looking at. Basically, comparing the world's money and markets. Now, let's just move right into cryptocurrency right here. It's got like what? 325 billion in it right now. We have currency in general. All currency, 7.6 trillion, right? Stock markets. We're looking at all the world's stock markets. $73 trillion. Global money supply, narrow money and broad money combines about $126 trillion.
You can't just lump everything into these two categories and then just deny everything else.
Now, $126 trillion, the global money supply moving in there, that'd be a lot of money, right? And we're not going to guarantee all of that goes into there. But, and like even looking at the value of this, that's a lot of money. But what about global debt? Like, what if they figure out how to contractualize global debt on the blockchain? And that's a great idea for a token, actually. I hate to say we should perpetuate debt, but I might make that token, the debt token. You know, like people can trade and buy and borrow debt. I don't know why, but debt's considered actual value. Debt has value. It's a currency in a sense because people buy and sell it. So debt. $215 trillion, 325% of the global GDP, $215 trillion in debt. Now, this is not even the big blow. This is really not even the big blow. $217 trillion global real estate, still not a big blow. Finally, looking at the last group, the largest chunk of money you could ever imagine existing is in derivatives. $540 trillion derivatives. But what's a derivative? A derivative is a contract between two or more parties that derives its value from the performance of an underlying asset. Whoa! This is just basically a bunch of contracts, just like this Populous app, just like this Populous service. They're just buying and selling contracts. Well, what does that mean if we go back? Well, what does that mean if we go back and look at our drawing? Basically, we have a huge market, a $500 trillion market that possibly we have not even seen emerge on the blockchain. And if I were to bet what blockchain financial institutions would capitalize on placing contracts inside of, I would bet it would be Ripple. I don't know why. I don't know why I would bet that. It seems like maybe they have some type of affiliation with banks prior to this. Or something. And the fact that companies that literally just want to trade contracts could be moving over to blockchain technology, it doesn't mean they're going to develop their own blockchain technology. It means they're going to be looking to use someone's blockchain that they've developed very well. Mwah! A very good blockchain. Ripple, as much as people love to hate it, and actually the next video I do is just going to be a bunch of like Ripple haters and me making fun of them with funny voices. Look forward to that coming out sometime soon. But literally, people love to hate Ripple, and I can understand why, because it's literally work with the banks. It's pre-mined, you can't mine it, and maybe you didn't buy it yet, or you bought it late, or you bought it high, you bought it at the all-time high, and people, stupid Ripple. But hate it as much as you want. If big companies, especially big financial institutions, start moving derivative contracts over to Ripple's blockchain, trillions of dollars could emerge overnight.
One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not. I'm going to be as forthcoming as I can be, Mr. Anderson.
And so, yeah, people are saying, well, there's 100 billion coins. How's it going to go up very much? Where's all this trillions of dollars going to come from? Why is there no money in here yet? If you look at yesterday's video, we talked about how people are basically waiting. Like, everybody knows it's a smart decision. Everyone knows it's a good investment, but nobody wants to jump in and be the first one to do it. But once people do it, once people actually make the plunge and they're like, oh, this is probably a good idea, the floodgates open. Once the floodgates open, there's no going back. And the thing is once people figure out how to put derivative contracts from financial institutions into the blockchain, they're probably going to pick one of the blockchains that has a prominent relationship with the financial institutions already. And I think Ripple could be that horse. Ripple could be that vehicle to literally push the derivative market onto the blockchain, to at least support it to do so, to allow ICOs, basically other coins, launching on Ripple is what we're looking for. We're not looking for Ripple necessarily to make a deal with some super bank, because that's, in reality, as great as that is, what I think really is exciting to look at is more who's going to develop something on their blockchain for their own use. That could be really exciting. Basically, like, Ripple could be the new Ethereum if coders figure out how to break open and use the blockchain really well. Word spreads like wildfire, and people start tearing apart the Ripple code to make really sweet coins. It's again just speculation as to how any of this could happen. I hope you guys like my drawings, and hope you guys like the idea that possibly we could see derivative markets or derivative contracts brought over to the blockchain with ICOs launched on the Ripple ledger. What do you think about that? Run some ideas back by me. Does this sound completely crazy? Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click the like button, show your support, give me 2 thumbs up, say, hey, you're great, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day until then.
Brought to you by your teeth.